What do you say to those constituents who are worried about feeding their families?
Well, this is the most cruel thing that the Republicans have done since the shutdown started.
I find the claim of cruelty a bit rich considering the, let's call it, political calculation. She reportedly voted for the very thing that led to the shutdown, right? And then immediately turns around and calls Republican actions the most cruel thing because SNAP benefits are at risk. You can't really cause physical chaos or vote for the mechanism that allows it, and then clutch your pearls when the predictable result happens, which is, yes, a temporary cut in support for vulnerable people. It just feels like political theater, doesn't it?
I see that argument, but framing it as just political theater kind of lets folks off the hook, doesn't it? I think that accusation of cruelty is, well, it's spot on because the human cost is being used as a weapon here. Jayapal's stance, okay, maybe it's politically messy, I'll grant you that, but it underscores the fact that Republicans are using basic needs like food assistance, SNAP, as leverage in a crisis that, let's be honest, didn't need to happen. You talk about fiscal accountability, but the actual result is allegedly hungry families. That's not just heartless strategically, it makes zero fiscal sense either. Sure, there's political maneuvering on both sides, but one side seems okay with causing actual, despair as a bargaining chip.
Well, that framing conveniently sidesteps the bigger picture, doesn't it?
As I've been saying, these Democratic Socialists, they are coming for your city.
The Democratic Party is shifting towards some seriously volatile policies, economically and socially. We're talking about ideas here that could genuinely mess up how markets work. When people say communist price controls, maybe that's hyperbole, maybe not, but they are talking about specific plans to cap prices on things like drugs or rent. My worry is, yeah, the goal is supposedly reining in corporate greed, fine. But price controls, history shows this, they tend to lead to shortages. They kill the incentive to produce things, and you end up with more economic pain, not less.
Okay, that's the classic economics textbook argument, I get it. But I'd frame it differently. Look, these aren't some slippery slope to communism, they're targeted fixes. They're necessary, frankly, humane steps to correct obvious market failures where, monopolies or near monopolies are hurting real people badly. And the whole defund the police thing, it gets so distorted. It's mostly compassionate reform, right? It's about smartly reallocating some funds to, say, mental health crisis teams, people who are actually trained for certain situations, not just sending armed officers to everything. It's about making public safety smarter, not creating anarchy. It acknowledges police aren't the fix for every single social issue.
And what about the encampment? This deliberate policy in some cities to just let chaotic, homeless encampments stay. I mean, hardworking people, taxpayers, they're dealing with the fallout, the very visible chaos this unleashes. And it's all done in the name of some abstract idea of equity that seems to ignore actual community safety and, basic public order.
Okay, we need to just pause on that for a second. Shifting gears briefly, we are genuinely grateful to be part of the Next Gen Businesses mission.
Absolutely. Yeah, we really are glad to be involved with this initiative. They're doing important work, trying to tone down the extremes in America by, reporting things from the center, the left, and the right, giving you the whole picture.
It's a great resource, and it's free. We definitely encourage everyone listening to check out their Become a Reporter Free challenge. See for yourself how they approach balanced reporting. Okay, back to it.
Right. Back to the deadlock.
I know Democrats are ready to go. They are not willing to come back and let an authoritarian president do whatever he wants.
Can you, with a straight face, defend Governor Walz's framing here? He says this standoff is about resisting an authoritarian president.
Oh, come on.
This whole gridlock feels entirely driven by, let's just call it what it is, radical Democrats' intense political hatred for the president. They're blocking a simple funding bill, risking economic stability. Why? It looks like a political vendetta. They just refuse to engage reasonably. It's sacrificing the country's well-being for pure partisan spite.
Wow, okay, I completely reject that motive. I actually champion Governor Walz's resolve here. It is a necessary defense of, constitutional norms. Refusing the funding bill is about checking potential executive overreach. When a president uses, or allegedly uses, shutdown threats to force Congress's hand, then gridlock, it's frustrating, but it becomes the unfortunate, necessary price of protecting democracy from unchecked power. If you just cave every time, you basically destroy the legislature's independence. And that is way more dangerous than a temporary funding gap, believe me.
And speaking of radical influence,
we're going to win this election. We're going to make you put a gavel in your hand in the House.
Let's not forget Walz hyping up AOC, talking about handing her a gavel. I mean, talk about politically charged signals. That wasn't just some off-the-cuff remark. It felt like actively promoting a very far-left divisive figure. It definitely sparked real unease among moderates, people worried about a hard-turn left taking over the whole House agenda. It was, the original outline called it low-key sus. And honestly, Yeah, it kind of was.
Oh, please, I just don't buy this sinister interpretation at all. That was an energizing moment. It was about solidarity, rallying progressives, recognizing the energy that younger, dynamic leaders bring. Walz was simply acknowledging the momentum, the possibility of big Democratic gains, a new wave of leadership. This conservative panic about a potential Speaker Ocasio-Cortez, it honestly strikes me as kind of comical. It feels like a total distraction, because maybe they don't have a positive unifying vision of their own to offer?
Look, put these 4 events together. The alleged hypocrisy on Snap, embracing risky socialist-like policies, the obstruction clearly fueled by animosity, Walz's signaling. It paints a pretty clear picture. A definite trend towards radical, kind of chaotic, and fiscally, well, questionable governance.